Hey Miranda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Matt. So good to be here.
Thank you. So now you have done our speaker training and we were just chatting a bit off camera just then. So you use the speaker training pretty much everywhere. So podcasts, group training, live events that you run, you even use it in structure and coaching. Share with us a little bit about what you are doing at the moment, how you're using it and what you love about it.
So I'm working as a business coach. Got in coaching for a program. We've got about 70 or 80 clients plus at the moment, and I use it every single day. So from the moment I run a group coaching, I run 8 or 9 hours of group coaching every week. So speaking in front of 15 to 20 clients every week, I will use it to not only think about how I'm going to present the session, but also to and how I'm showing up. Doing it in using the speaking in thinking about what it is that I'm actually going to share with people. And so webcasts, as you said, it's podcasts, using it for online events. So we host a lot of online events. We've had 80 or 90 people on Zoom for 2 days and running 90-minute plus sessions of my own to those people on Zoom. So that's been good fun. And so all throughout the course, everything I've learned through TCI and the course has enabled me just to step into more and more of those moments and doing that. It's great fun.
It's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Now, very important question. Before you did the training with us and you had the education of like, how do you actually run a session? How do you run a workshop? How do you run a training? Do you think you ever would have been able to do what you're doing right now?
No way. No way. I probably would have vomited and got so terrified I couldn't have even got out there. And, it's been stepping through layers of learning. And, I remember my first moments even a while ago, coming in and meeting you in a room and getting up on stage in front of 100 people and being interviewed. That alone would have terrified me speaking. Yet, taking that from now being able to bring content to a group of people, to not rely on my notes, to be able to take what they share with me and turn it into something that lands with everyone in the room. It's amazing. There is no way I could be where I am today doing what I'm doing and serving the clients that I am without the trainings.
What's it feel like when you are running a training and you've put together the content, you've designed the experience, and you get the people in the room to really land emotionally on the message? That was something that you just said just then. I think that is such a key element of a high quality training, is when the audience goes, wow, I feel what you're saying. There's an emotional connection for me, because we make all of our decisions based on emotion. We justify them with logic. What's it feel like for you when you've really landed on that mark and the people in the room have hit that transformational moment?
Yeah. Well, the word high comes to mind. It's like you get a high from it, and it's like, hey, wow, I facilitated that. I helped them to arrive in that moment. And the gift in it is just watching what they then go and do, or the realizations that they have, that they understand maybe that something's possible, or they've learned something, whatever that is for them. It's that, what it feels like for me though is like, sometimes my sort of mind gets involved. It's like, wow, did I actually even do that? It's that sort of surprise, that ego gets involved. But it's also it is a high. It's an excitement. It's a real fulfillment, and it's a real connection with why I know I do what I do. I'm like, this is why I do what I do. Yeah.
I love it. When you first started and you started your education with us here to become a speaker, did you always want to become a speaker, or was it more something where it's like, I kind of need to learn these skills now to be able to achieve my goals? Or what was it like for you in the beginning of this journey?
In the beginning, no, I did not. And probably even saying the word speaker, even that for me, what was wrapped up inside that was a whole bunch of scared stuff of I couldn't do that, or that's not me, or outright terrifying. Yet part of me knew that to be able to do what I wanted to do the most, which is to serve others, it was that I had to, and that I wanted to, and that I needed to, and that I simply had to learn the skills. And TCI and the training sort of lay it on and made it more and more possible, not in in a giant scary way, but in a way that's like, I've so got this. And if I just do the work and it's laid out and follow the system and follow the steps and in such a safe, nurturing environment, that I just knew I was supported all of the way to just embrace the mistakes that I had to make in my learning. They're an inevitable part of learning, to be clunky and to be able to laugh at myself and have fun with it. Yeah, it was just fantastic. So
It's great. Now, as you started to learn to become a speaker, what were some of the things that you really became aware of that were going to help you be successful? And what I mean by that is a lot of people think that it's just confidence that you need, right? A lot of people think that, like, some people are speakers and some people aren't. And one of the things that I love helping people with inside the program is the truth that, well, really anyone can do this as long as you're willing to follow the system, like you said, and learn the steps. And what was your experience of really demystifying what it means to be a speaker and learning that really there's a structure to this, and that if I just follow the structure, I'm going to achieve the outcome? What was your experience of that?
Wow, it was, I've heard so much, so many people say, when I feel confident, I'm going to get up and do the speaking. And so first and foremost, one of the biggest learnings was I had to start doing something to then get that confidence. Like, I had to start the learning, and the learning of that structure of learning that there's a system, that there's a way to frame a whole conversation, a place to start and a next step and a next step. And that if I put my content in that order and do a few things along the way, it's a transformative experience. I was like, it was mind-blowing. And that skill alone, just thinking that structure, just goes so much further than just speaking in front of a group of people. I use it in one-on-one, speaking with people, with clients. I'll use it in sessions with just a few people. I run accountability and mentoring groups. I use it to structure that. I use it in structuring my podcast content. I'll structure just so many ways. So to know that it's as simple as that was just mind-blowing.
I love what you're sharing as well, because one of the things that I get when I meet brand new speakers is sometimes they say, oh, I'm just trying to work out what my message is, or I'm going to try to work out what I'm going to talk about. One of the things that I'll always say to them is we'll do that, but if you think about it, as a speaker and as a trainer, you're going to talk about a million topics.
Yeah.
The topic's going to change all the time. More importantly, instead of learning about what to, deciding one message, learn the structure of talking about anything. Right?
Yes.
When you have the structure to talk about anything, then you can do what you're doing, which is apply this to a podcast, a group coaching session, a Zoom with 80 people on it for 2 days, or however you want to structure your content, your training. You're going to have an amazing experience.
Absolutely. I love that. You can just apply it to so many different things. And, more than that, it's around being able to frame and take and be able to handle any questions. So I love, it's not just about me. It's not a one-way thing. It's not just about me arriving with some content in a structure and kind of splurging it on people.
Yeah.
It's about, as you raised before, having that connection and creating emotional connections and bringing people with me. And so I see everyone as this group that it's that bringing people with me, and together we will go somewhere. I don't always know where we're going to go. I show up at weekly group coaching sessions and I don't know what they're going to bring me. Yet now I trust in myself to handle that. And that was pivotal. Is to know that if I rely on what I've learned through the trainings, through TCI, that there's personal journey and learning to handle it. There's also the evidence that I've gained and the confidence I've built, and following the system, following the steps, using what I've been taught. The confidence builds, and then I can just grow and have bigger conversations and bring more and more people with me.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, and for people that are watching that are really loving what you're sharing, I think the key to what you've just said is that it's not necessarily just about the content. It's knowing how to connect with people. It's knowing how to have a deeper conversation. It's knowing how to facilitate a group conversation. And then when you do that, you've got the confidence that you're sharing right now to be able to step into really any situation if it be, I don't know, this would be applicable for someone who's a leader inside a corporate company who wants to do
Yes.
meetings, right? And just wants to facilitate their team to be able to get around an idea versus actually deliver content. It's the same skill in the background, which is really, it's the ability to connect with multiple people, multiple thinking styles,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah, I love that. It's and the thinking styles, the multiple people, and this can so be transferred into so many environments. So you raise, leadership in corporate environment, even small business and business meetings. You could take it to if you were, doing a pitch or a proposal. All of these things. There's so many different ways. It's almost endless, really. Anytime you are speaking to more than one, even one person, but let's just say for this, a group of people, then the principles and the system applies without a doubt. And it's not about leaving people behind. It's about bringing people and facilitating a conversation that means that they get it and they're with you. And something that popped up when you spoke earlier was around creating a safe environment. And that is really one of the things that happens that you learn through the trainings, is to create an environment that people want to participate.
Yeah.
They'll share in their own way whenever they're ready. And it's phenomenal, some of the stuff that comes out in the conversations when you've created that space for people. It's not just about what they're saying, but everyone else in the room, in that meeting, on that Zoom session, whatever you call the room, they all take their own message from it. They take their own learnings, and you watch everyone just light up in their own ways. It's such a gift.
Love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations on how far you've come and what you're doing now. I love that you're utilizing this across multiple different ways, including the podcast, to the events, to group coaching, everything you're doing. Congratulations.
Thank
What
you.
would you say to someone who's watching this, who's inspired by what you've done through this training, is considering stepping into becoming a student here at TCI and learning how to do speaker training? What would you say to them?
I'd say do it. If you don't feel like you're quite ready, do it. If you do feel like you might be ready, do it. If you're wondering if perhaps it could be you, do it. If you think this is so me, but I'm terrified, do it. Whatever that is, then I just, step in and do it, because you'll never know. And seriously, I was one of the quietest people back of the room, never wanted to put my hand up. And if I can do it, you can too.
Thank you so much, Miranda. Awesome to have
You're
you.
welcome. Thanks, Matt. It's been great.